All right. So again, today is kind of tough because we've been off for a week, and I do have planned Friday. All right, we're going to have a test basically on just writing the equations of lines. All right, and again, there's a few things you have to remember. You need a slope, you need a point. If you can get a slope and you can get a point, it's easy to write the equation of the line. All right. Now, to be perfectly honest, I was a little lenient on the last test, as some of you have figured that out. You didn't do as well as you thought, and your grade was maybe a little bit higher. Part of that was because there really was a lot of information. All right, and I'm really happy with those of you guys who did really well. Those of you guys who made around a B or a C, you're close. All right, you're close. It's really easy to fix. All right, really easy to fix. And I know I say this a lot, but you will be writing equations of lines until you finish your math career, wherever that is. Whether it's in college, whether it's in high school, you'll always be writing equations of lines. That's why it's important to get it taken care of right now. All right? So, again, we're going to talk today about parallel, and we're going to talk about perpendiculars. All right? The first little note you might want to make on your notability there is when lines are parallel, their slopes are equal. When lines are parallel, their slopes are equal. When lines are parallel, their slopes are equal. When lines are perpendicular, their slopes are negative reciprocals. All right, we'll talk about that, but you can write that down anyway. When lines are perpendicular, their slopes are negative reciprocals. For example, if the slope of the line is 2, then the perpendicular line, the slope would be negative 1/2. If the slope of a line is, let's say, negative 3/5, the slope of the perpendicular line would be 5/3. All right? So everything you knew 2 weeks ago about how to write the equations of lines still pertains to this information. All right? Now, most of the time we write the equation using point-slope form. All right? Most of the time. But you're expected to be able to write it in slope-intercept and standard form. And we will practice that. All right? So please, let's open up, or let me open up today's lesson and get started. All right, here we go. Now, again, it says for question number 1, write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through the given point parallel to the graph of the given equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow up on this. All right. Now, if I wanted to, what I would like kind of for you to do is I'd like for you to try to draw the parallel line through this point. All right. So if I draw the parallel line, I'm trying to make it as parallel as I can. That to me looks pretty parallel. Does everybody agree with that? Now, what is the slope of the black line? What's the slope of the black line? 2. Thank you very much. If the slope of the black line is 2, what's the slope of the red line?
2.
Exactly. Very good. So the slope of this red line is equal to 2. And it's equal to 2 because I already told you, if lines are parallel, they have the what? They have the same slope. All right? So, Connor, what? You have a question? Then you should be talking to me only. Now, if your slope is 2, all right, I need to write the equation. All right? Now, again, look right here, guys. If I want to do it quickly, I could say that's up to and over 1. All right? And then just to demonstrate again, up to and over 1. Now, why did I do that? I did that because I can show you now from the graph what's the y-intercept, guys. What's the y-intercept?
1, 2.
The slope is the y-intercept. No, you're right. The y-intercept is 1. All right? How did I know that? Because this is where it crosses the y-axis. The slope is 2, and the y-intercept is what? 1. Does everybody agree with that? Now, that's not always how you have to do it, but I'm just simply saying if you go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, does everybody see you can find the y-intercept? Now, that's important to be able to do that. All right? So, can anybody now tell me what the equation of the red line would be? Now, keep in mind, we can use this format. Y equals mx plus b. Tell me, CC.
Wouldn't it just be y equals 2x plus 1?
You're awesome. Y equals 2x plus 1. All right, that's how simple. Now, again, how did I know it was 2? The slopes are equal. That's exactly correct. The slopes are equal. Now, how did I know the y-intercept was 1? Because I looked at it. I looked at the graph and said, wow, that graph crosses at 1. Is everybody with me on this? All right. Now, the next thing I want you to do is underneath that, I want you to write this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And again, what was that called? Thank you very much. That's called point slope form. All right, now I'm just going to review that with you. So pay attention. What point does it go through here, guys? -2, -3, right? So the slope was 2, and it goes through the point -2, -3. Everybody see that? Now we're going to use the point slope. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm just reviewing information. All right? So if I use the point slope, it would be y plus 3 equals 2 times x plus 2. Now's the time you speak up if you're not sure where that's coming from. Anybody have any objections to that? All right, now if I said write it in point slope form, we would be what? Done, correct? But now watch. It says slope intercept, so I'm going to distribute the 2. Y plus 3 equals 2x plus 4. And then what can I do to both sides? Subtract 3, right? So y equals 2x plus 1. So what was I trying to show you? Doesn't matter how you write the equation line, it comes out to be what? It comes out to be y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals 2x plus 1. All right, now, listen, I'm not exaggerating. And again, I really am not trying to scare anybody. I'm just telling you, I've got like 5 letters of recommendations in my box for your high school. All right, and you know what? I don't even care that you're not great at math, some of you. I care that you're trying to get it and the effort that you're putting in. That's way more important. All right, way more important. Your attitude is way more important. I can easily mark you great if you have a good attitude. All right? And part of this right now is it is harder. And that's what you're expected to do. Work hard. All right? And when you don't understand something, speak up. I've had conferences now, and I'm talking to some of you personally. All right, this is not too hard. It requires some work, though. And right now, I'm throwing a lot at you. All right, you got to be willing to ask me a question now if you don't understand something. All right, any questions with that? All right, let's check out number 3 now. All right, so we're still going with parallel. So what I want to do is, again, just for practice, we're just going to try to draw the parallel line. All right, we're going to try to draw the parallel line. All right, now again, that looks pretty parallel. All right, but what is the slope of that line? What's the slope of the blue line? The slope is 1/2. Because the slope of the black line is also what? And they're parallel, so the slopes are the same. Everybody agree with that? All right. Now, do you notice I went up 1 and over 2? Right, that's where I got the slope from. That's how I was able to see that they're parallel. Now, somebody who's been paying attention now, you should be able to tell me what the equation of the blue line is. Someone go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, yes.
Y equals 1/2 x
Plus, what's that number?
2.
Count up, please.
Oh,
take your time, take your time.
From the x.
From the origin.
Oh,
So how much did you go up?
3.
That's the answer. So it's 1/2 x what?
Oh,
1/2 x plus 3. That's it, guys. Now, come on, that was pretty simple now. Pretty simple.
I'm confused how I got 3.
Okay, honestly, here's it. I started at the origin, and I went up 1, 2, 3. That is the y-intercept. Do you see what I'm saying, right? That is the y-intercept. All right? Perfect. That's what you should be doing on your notability. Making yourself notes if you don't know something. All right? Now, let's look at number 5. What's the difference with number 5 now? They just don't give us the what? They just don't give us the graph. All right? So now here's the notation. Watch this, please. The slope of the parallel line would equal what? Good job, guys. -3. How did I know that? Because I looked over here, and that's the slope. Everybody good with that? I'm telling you, it's so easy. Michael, you with me? Connor, Drinkard. Come on, man. You know, we got a goal. We're trying to get you into Jesuit. All right, you can't be daydreaming. Come on, man, you got to focus. All right, slope of the line is -3. Now, it passes through what point? -1, -2. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So now, because we can't look at the y-intercept, we have to use the point slope form. Everybody good with that? So the point slope would be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Everybody good on that? And so now what would be the answer? Someone go ahead. I'll hear it, Maxine. Y plus, be careful. Y plus, be careful.
Oh, 2.
There you go. That's the most common mistake.
Okay.
The most common mistake is to accidentally put x for y and y for x. Go.
Okay, y plus 2 equals -3 times x plus 1.
Look, there's nothing I can do. I can't do a better job than that. That's it. All right, that's the answer in point slope form. Now, I'm going to the directions. The directions say write it in what? Slope intercept. So we're going to go have to convert it real quick. So to convert it, I distribute the -3. So y plus 2 equals -3x minus 3, right? And then we should all be good with subtracting 2. So my final answer, go ahead, somebody.
Y equals -3 minus 3.
Yes, y equals -3x minus 5. That's simple now. Simple, simple, simple. Yes.
So for 1 and 3, for 1, why did you do point slope form?
Well, I just showed you it was the same answer.
Oh, okay.
That's all I was doing. I did it two techniques. But if they give you a line and you can see that, do that. That's the quickest way. But they're usually not. They're going to give you a point in the slope,
Okay, so when you were subtracting the 2,
right?
why didn't it?
-3 minus 2 is -5. Right? Subtract 2, right?
Okay.
Yes, good.
So why did you even subtract the 2?
Because I'm getting it into y equals mx plus b. I'm putting it in that format.
Oh, that's what.
Right? That's what slope intercept is. The first one is point slope.
Alright.
This right here is point slope. And this down here is slope intercept.
Okay.
All right. Now let's take a look at number 7. All right. So again, let's write the notation properly. Slope of the parallel line would equal what? -4. And it's going through 1 comma -3. Okay, Freddie, go ahead. Write the equation.
Okay, so the y plus 3 equals -4x and x minus
Like that, right? You accidentally said 2 x's.
Oh.
But that's okay. Everybody okay with that? Connor? Drinkard? All right. Now distribute a -4. And then subtract 3. Everybody happy? Now, listen, the reason I keep saying your name, Connor, is because I don't see you writing. I just see you sitting there. Is your iPad having problems? Yes, ma'am. I subtracted 3. I can show you that. It's okay, kiddo. Look, I just did -3, -3. You see it now, right? Okay. Quickly, come on, Allie.
Okay, when you're subtracting 3, is it not like 0?
No, it's, remember, that's a constant. So what I mean by that is you only combine things that are alike.
Oh, because that has the x. Okay.
Yeah, you with me on that?
Yeah.
All right, so I subtracted 3 from both sides. All right, and you put them with the constants. All right, so now let's take a look at question number 9. So again, I still want the right notation. So I want it to be slope of the parallel would be what? 1/2. All right, through the point, -4, 3. All right, Connor Goss, go. Tell me what the answer is.
So you do y minus 3 equals 1/2, and parentheses x plus 4,
Beautiful.
and
Go
the
ahead.
next step.
Next step.
All right, so then y minus 3 equals 1/2. Or you distribute it, so it's, yeah, y minus 3 equals 1/2 x plus 6.
Plus half of 4 is what?
2.
I don't know where you came up with 6.
Oh, I did 2 plus 4.
Okay,
So
You with me?
plus 2,
right? And then what?
and then
Just a minute, Al.
you do minus 3,
No, it's already -3.
and you subtract it from 2. I thought.
You do the opposite.
Oh, you do plus 3?
You hear me? Plus,
Oh, so you do whatever, like the.
yeah, you're
so
solving like a normal equation.
that becomes 5.
Right,
And it's y equals 1/2 x plus 5.
that's it. 1/2 x plus 5. What's the matter, Fred?
Wait, so how come you can't do 2y? Like you can't.
Oh, because listen to me. Good question. You're thinking about if I said put it in standard form.
Oh,
Right? No, we're not putting it in standard form. All right? I'm going to concentrate on these 2 forms. All right? Is everybody happy with that? You with me? All right. Listen, I don't really care about question 10 for now, so we can omit that. All right. So now, here, I want to look at 11. So the first equation is good because it's written in the right form. Y equals 2/3 x plus 3. The second equation is good because it's written in y equals mx plus b. The third equation, what do I have to do? Solve it for y. Right? So let's practice that. 2x minus 3y equals 8. So -3y equals -2x plus 8. Does everybody see that so far? And then I have to divide by -3. Hold on. Everybody divide by -3 and write down the equation. Hello? Yep. Lauren, you have to do this semester stuff. While you're super busy, let's go. All right, now when you divide by -3, you get y equals 2/3 x minus 8/3. Anybody have any questions with that? Again, the reason why we do that is because now I can tell you what the slopes are. The slope of the first is what? 2/3. The slope of the second one is what? They're not perpendicular because their signs aren't opposites. Everybody hear me?
So if it was
This one right here, the slope is what? So we can say that the first and the third lines are what? Parallel. All right? None of them are perpendicular. All right? None of them are perpendicular. All right? If the second equation, just to make sure you guys are hearing me, if the second equation was -3/2, then that would be what? Perpendicular. All right? Now, if you are good at writing the equations now, the next part is easy also. It's the same thing, except instead of parallel, they're what? They're perpendicular. All right? So here we go. Let's take a look at this now. So, what?
I don't really understand.
We found out which lines were parallel. The first and third are parallel because they have the same slope.
And on the last one, when you wrote them down, the third one, how did you get the 8/3?
What's 8 divided by 3? 8/3. Right? I just divide each one by 3 now. You hear me on that?
Yeah.
That's important. You want me to draw it up there? Or are you good? All right? Yes. Come on, quick.
I'm looking at number 12.
I don't care about number 12. I'm on number 13. Here we go. On 13. Here we go. All right? Now, for question 13. All right? The slope of this line is what? The slope of the line is 1. All right, now if I were writing this worksheet, I probably wouldn't write the 1 there. Because what's the reciprocal of 1? Yes, it's 1, but because it's perpendicular, it's -1. You hear me? So now here's the symbol that I want you to write down. Slope of the perpendicular is equal to -1. Come on now. It's no different. The only difference is you take the negative reciprocal. All right? Now what? All right? Now it's passing through the point, -3, -2. So Hayes, what is the equation?
The y equals -3.
I have no idea what you're talking about. None. None. We've been doing this now too long for you to be fumbling around like this. Look up. Come on. What's the y value?
Yeah, it's
Right. So it would be,
y plus 2.
thank you, come on.
Yeah,
Y plus 2 equals, then what?
y plus 2. X minus.
Come on, man. You're telling me you don't have any clue what we're doing. All right? You're not asking me questions. That's why I'm mad at you. And I think specifically I'm doing your letter of recommendation. Come on, there's no excuse, none. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Please write that down. You're just plugging numbers into formulas. This plus 2 came from this right here. You hear me? Now, the next thing in the equation is the slope. What is the slope? Tell me what the slope is. That's what we wrote right here, buddy. Yeah, there you go. -1. Look how hard that is. Now what? Yes? X plus what? Plus 3. Come on. Don't make it too hard on yourself, man. I can tell you, if you guys just listen, for those of you guys who I'm giving you a hard time, if you just listen for 5 minutes, I promise you it's not that hard. And Reagan didn't know something, she raised her hand. I showed her something, okay. Somebody doesn't know something, I show you, okay. It's not going to get any better sitting there. And this test is going to be graded harshly, not leniently. Now distribute the -1. Y plus 2 equals -x minus 3. And then subtracting 2. Y equals -x minus 5. Now, honestly, Hayes, I'm really not trying to give you a hard time, man. I am trying to help you. So if there's something I can help you with, you got to tell me, buddy. You happy with that? Do you follow the steps? Come on, man. Now I want you to do the next one, 15, all right? And try to do 15 before I do 15. Then you can say, wow, I understand it. I promise you it's not hard. It's really not. All right, now let's take a look at 15. We got lots of problems on 15. The reason why we have lots of problems on 15 is because it's not set up properly. I first have to put it into what format? Y equals mx plus b. So the first thing I have to do is move the x over. When I move the x over, it becomes what? Negative. So everybody's writing 3y equals negative x plus 6. Now what do I have to do? Divide by 3. Thank you very much. Y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. Now, does everybody understand how I got the 2? Reagan, I think this is what your question was. You see how I got the 2 now? Shh.
You divided the 6 by
There you go. I divided everything by 3.
and then you divided the 1 by
That's exactly right. Now you're with me, girl. All right. So now listen to my question. What is the slope of this line right here? Negative 1/3.
Oh.
I am now going to ask you for the slope of the perpendicular. What would be the slope of the perpendicular? Hold up. James, what's the slope? What? Yes, it would be. Now, I prefer that you say 3/1 because you did a reciprocal and you changed the sign. But then I'd like for you to know 3/1 is just what? 3. All right, James, you want to write the equation for me?
Sure. It would be y plus 6 equals 3 times x.
Beautiful work. Okay, Drew, quick.
Oh, why would it not be negative 3?
Because this over here is negative, right?
Yes.
So that's what I mean when I say the negative reciprocal. I would probably should say it's the opposite reciprocal.
Okay.
All right, but when you take the negative of a negative, it's a positive. All right? So they're always opposite signs. All right, now let's see if you're distributing properly, Hayes. So y plus 6 equals 3x plus 3. Y equals 3x minus 3. That should be your answer. Of course, if you don't have that, now you raise your hand and say, show me something real quick. Michael Gratz, you good?
Yeah.
You understand everything. A lot on the line for you, too. A lot. All right, here we go. So, for question 17. Sandra, is it okay? What's the slope of the line on the right? 1/4. So, the slope of the perpendicular is what? Shh. Yeah. Yes, and?
4/1 and then just
Is it positive or negative?
Negative.
You with me? You got to make sure you got that. So she said negative 4/1, which is the same as negative 4. Perfect. All right, Connor Drinkard. Come on now. Write the equation. I've done it how many times? Come on now. What is it? Connor, what equation am I writing down? So what is the point slope? Stop. You're not even writing that down right.
It's just that you guys.
Yes, the 2's are not there. That's smart that you knew that. But that's not how I want it written. Okay? So now, go.
So there'd be y minus 3.
Hold up, right there. Very good. Equals,
Oh, 4.
well, what's the slope? Shh. Do not help him.
Oh. Negative 4
Good.
equals. Oh. Negative 4. X.
Look, I'm not sure what this is. There's an X now. Do you see what I'm highlighting? There's an X. Connor, well, I mean, you're not even in the game. You're not even close. That's why I've been saying, Connor. Hey, so you're acting like you're not even wanting to learn. I'm not sure how to reach out to you, buddy. This right here, pay attention, this 3 goes in for the y. The negative 2 goes in for the x. And the negative 4 goes in for the slope. That's it. Now write it down. I'm going to come back in a few minutes and see exactly what you wrote down. Because we are having a conference. distributing the negative 4, y minus 3 equals negative 4x minus 8. Final answer.
Y equals negative 4x.
Wrong. Just kidding.
Basically,
Y equals negative 4x minus 5. That is it. That's how simple writing the equations are. It's nothing simple, nothing difficult. Quick.
Can you explain how you got
Yes. You see this 1/4 over here?
Yeah.
So the slope is 1/4. If you take the reciprocal of that, it's 4/1. But then it's the opposite sign. Always the reciprocals, negative. All right, for perpendicular. What?
No, I figured out.
Good, very good. All right. Now, honestly, what time we get here? Like 5 minutes, I think. 2 minutes. Okay. So again, guys, listen. And again, I'm especially talking to the boys today because I've got I can't remember 5 or 6. Whoever wants to go to Jesuit, I'm writing your recommendation. And listen to me, guys. I want everyone to go to Jesuit because that's how much I like that school. But listen, I can't write a good evaluation if you're not helpful. Helpful to yourself. Not even to me. I don't care about me. You've got to help yourself. And when I write a recommendation, all of that stuff is in there. Do you participate? Are you attentive? All right? Do you get along with your peers? Do you get along with your teachers? That's all in there, guys. And I'm telling you that I'm always honest. Because when I send kids over to Jesuit, I don't want them coming back to me and saying, what do you mean? You gave me a recommendation and said they're a great kid. I don't do that. If I put a stamp on your name, my stamp on your name, it's a good recommendation. All right? I'm trying to get you in. And some of you guys are underachieving right now. All right? And I promise you, it's really not that hard. It's really not. All right? If you still are having troubles, come in the morning, see me at lunch, all right? Do something that I can give you to show me so I can add that to your recommendation. He cares. He may not be the best math student in the world, but he cares enough. He's putting in extra effort, putting in extra time. I can help you, but you got to help yourself first. All right? Finish this up. It should be easy tonight.